What was your partner's weird kink you weren't ready for? Dressing me up like the man acting out a scenario of being a clone. Alien impregnation, with the egg-linked dildo and everything. I had one girlfriend that wanted to lick my eyeball, and another lick my armpit. I didn't care for either act. Rough Shreks until she was crying. She told me ahead of time, but I still had to stop and ask her if she was okay. It wasn't a partner, but a Tinder meetup. She asked if she could tie me up and whip me a little while holding this little nine-tails whip thing. I agreed, normally down to try anything once. It was pretty awesome at first, giving someone else complete control, and the pain was manageable. Then she proceeded to put down the little whip and grabbed this Indiana Jones-style bull whip and thrashed my back with it. It broke the skin and I got blood all over her bed. She got me with it twice before I pleaded for mercy, and she untied me and apologized. But I wasn't ready for something like that. Got dressed and left shortly after. I still have the 2 scars on my back years later and haven't been on Tinder since. She told me she's able to from nipple rubbing. Cool. Started to lick and rub as she instructed me. Within a few minutes she indeed came and was really happy. Then she instructed me to lick one nipple, rub the other and finger her up her butt. It was weird and wonderful and I loved it. Never saw a woman climax so intensely. She was literally paralyzed for 10 minutes, unable to move. The fact that she felt comfortable enough with me to trust me and share this, and then going through with it, made me feel amazing. An ex years ago liked to give hand jobs, which was great. Big fan. Thing was, while working it, she would get more and more excited and then would start singing nursery rhymes. Turns out, it's incredibly difficult to finish while listening to your partner sing Pop Goes the Weasel or Wheels on the Bus. I didn't say anything at the time, because I didn't want her to feel bad and it made her really happy, but was absolutely not ready for that. Was uncomfortable during, and I definitely carried some finishing shame baggage for a bit. I briefly knew a guy who was very into pet play and wanted me to dress and act like a cat, and basically be a free-use pet in his garage. That one was definitely out there. One of my first GFs wanted me to eat mac and cheese off her back. We hadn't even had Shreks yet. It was very odd at 17. My first relationship in high school. The girl I was dating would just like to be tied up and gagged and then cuddled. No Shreks or anything. She just wanted me to tape her arms behind her back and hug and cuddle her. Not gonna lie, I was kind of into it. I had a freak buddy in college. We were both criminal justice majors, and one night she asked me to use her VJ like a police radio while in the 69 position. Most intense BJ I've ever had. Lol, I'm still trying to figure out how that turned her on. She wanted me to wear a bear suit and me just sit back and enjoy. I was looking forward to it, but wasn't ready for her to tell me that one. Doing the dishes. Every time I clean she tries to jump my bones. Like, let me finish first then we can hopefully both finish. My ex asked me to frick her while she pretended to sleep. It felt so freaking odd. Then every time we had Shreks after that she would just close her eyes and play dead until she came. It was bizarre as frick and it sucked doing all the work. Lol. It was the first time a girl wanted me to really be rough with her. She said to slap her, so I did. Then she said harder. So, I ramped it up a bit. After a while of encouragement I was leaving some pretty significant red marks on her ass. Then all at once she said, slap me across the face. Not mine, but a buddy from years ago in the construction world. He told me about a cop he dated who was into fake sexually assault. She wanted him to literally break into her house and force her. He was a maniac, so he hides in the bushes in this nice HOA, basically pissing his pants afraid that neighbors will call 911. But fortunate that this was the pre-Ring community camera days. He breaks into her bedroom window while she's in the shower and you know the rest. He said it was one of the most exhilarating experiences of his life, but he broke up with her after, because she scared him too much. Haha. My ex started asking if he could sleep in my tights and bra, and would get me to tie him up. He'd get genuinely frustrated when he'd be able to get the knots undone with a bit of struggling. He wanted to be completely unable to escape. It was a lot for me as a late bloomer type of teen who wasn't really convinced in the joys of vanilla Shreks yet either. It felt more like a hard task with lots of critique and effort for no reward for me, who was no dominatrix. Had a month-long fling with a girl who loved giving oral, in bathrooms, only, in bathrooms. When I say that, I don't mean while I'm using it, and she was adamantly against golden showers, as was I. But if we went anywhere that had a restroom and we walked by it, she'd make the eyes and start gently nudging me in that direction. We almost got caught on several occasions, which my level of anxiety could not handle, and when I'd suggest we have the same fun in bed, she could not be less interested. Just kind of weird. One of my very first boyfriends had a thing for latex and rubber. The way I was introduced to this was, one day while fooling around, I was gently fapping him off and he gave me the side eye and then mumbled something. I said, "What?" And he said, "There's a rubber glove in the drawer. Can you put it on?" Guys, have you ever tried to jerk someone off while wearing a rubber glove? I had almost no sensation, making it hard to feel what I was doing. And I also had unreal amounts of friction, making it impossible to do anything. Circumcision isn't very common in my country, so he didn't have any lube on hand, because he normally wouldn't need it. I was amenable to the kink, but I felt like I needed some practical instructions. Girl in college I went on a handful of dates with was really into sticking her tongue in my ears. Not gonna lie, it actually felt good, but it was definitely unexpected. Not my current partner, but a guy asked me to poop on a box once. I did not poop on the box. He wanted me to talk about how I'd frick all of our friends over him. I am infertile, been married for almost 5 years. My husband told me he developed a breeding kink. He just blurted it out like a month ago. Was newly dating this girl and we hadn't had Shreks yet until this one night we got drunk and of course, ended up in her bedroom. She climbs on top of me and asks if I like to be bitten. Well, of course I'm not going to say no as she is beginning to ride me. But, holy hell, did I start saying no. She started biting me hard on my neck, then face, chest, essentially anywhere she could sink her damn teeth into on my upper body. She was actually drawing blood with some of the men. I'm repeatedly telling her I don't like to be bite that freaking hard, but the closer she got to climax, the more I suffered. Next day when I meet up with my friends, they were like, "What the hell happened to you?" Because I had all the damn teeth marks and bite impressions all over my neck and face. Needless to say, that was her first and last time for hooking up. Thought she was a vampire there for a few minutes. He didn't come by penetration, but by twisting his nipple while he squeaked like a mini animal. Nothing wrong with it, just not what I expected. Girl I dated in college once, out of the blue, asked me to pee on her. Trying to make sure I heard correctly, I say, "What? Now beat red." She nervously screams. I was joking. Never mind. And that was that. She never asked again. Not a lot would have taken me by surprise with her, but that did. One of my partners liked to hold my dong while I was peeing. She would aim it and everything. She was also the type to choke you back while choking her and fricking her. She was fun. Being bagged. I'd never heard it be called that. She explained that she wanted me to put a carrier bag over her head while we had Shreks, and pull the bag tight so she couldn't breathe. I noped out of that one. I'm pretty open-minded, but breath control just ain't for me. He wanted me to blister his ass with a Hot Wheels racetrack till his ass looked like raw bacon. My husband, when performing oral Shreks, will what I call huffing my VJ. He'll be down there doing his thing and will sniff by lady bits. He said he loves the way I smell. Never before have I had a man sniff me. Person shrugging. But hey, if it turns him on and makes him more into getting me off, great for me. Knives. But not just being around then or putting one to my throat. She wanted me to carve my name on her thigh, because her abusive ex did. Tickling. Picture this. A strong muscular man laying on the bed in front of me. A tiny 5'0" lady. He's a CrossFit god and cut as frick. No extra weight at all. On top of that, he has tattoos all over. He puts a blindfold on and lays back. His muscles are tensing in anticipation and he says, Can you do the big feather first, and then the small one on my feet? He wanted me to wear pearls and put my hair up and call him Fred Flintstone, and I was Wilma. Girlfriend Anna were in the shower. She asked mind if I be in here. I thought it was kind of weird grammar for her to phrase it that way, but we just had Shreks, so I didn't mind that she was in the shower with me at all. I said, sure, that's fine. Then she peed on me. Turns out she actually said, mind if I pee in here, but I misheard it, because she shower was loud. The last one had a extreme submissive humiliation kink. We're not talking like a little slap or choke. No, she described how she wanted to be tied down and beaten, and how it would be fun if I called some friends to run a train on her and keep her in a dog kennel. She was a very petite and soft-spoken woman, so that one definitely caught me off guard. My boyfriend wants to edge me for a really long time and then overstimulate me with repeated orgasms to the point I pass out. My record is 12 orgasms in a session. I didn't pass out, but I said I felt lightheaded and we stopped then. Since he said he wants to take it a step further, I honestly like edging and overstimulation to a point. But before that one time I didn't think having that many was possible. And I'm not sure that I want to take it any further, so we haven't done it yet. It's very intense sometimes. We both knew from the start about the mutual spanking, face slapping, choking, CNC type kinks, but I really wasn't expecting it when he started holding me down so I couldn't get away while he tells me all the things he likes about me and that I deserve affection and to be happy. It is sometimes physically uncomfortable for me to hear, and that is hard to admit. Definitely the closest I have ever gotten to safe wording with him by a large margin.